Hi everybody, welcome to yet another video. This is the third challenge, which is SSRF in Kubernetes World. Now it says SSRF vulnerability became the go-to attack for cloud native environments. Here in this scenario, we will see how we can exploit an application vulnerability SSRF to gain access to cloud instance metadata as well as internal service metadata information. Cool. So there are two hints. One is cloud instance metadata and internal service metadata. So here is the challenge. It says internal API proxy. So first of all, I thought that maybe I could leverage this to somehow, like gain access to kubectl files. So for example, I'll show it to you here. Generally, when it comes to Kubernetes, there is a config file situated in this location. So let me just show it to you. Config, and you'll see this information can have sensitive information, so I thought maybe there is a internal server that's running and I will be able to leverage this to get access to the kube config file, right? As you can see, it does not work. Okay, the next thing is, a lot of times what happens is you have a proxy setup. So in a Kubernetes, the Kubernetes endpoint, if I'm not wrong, is accessible at port 6443. Let's see if this is active. But generally, this endpoint requires the use of a certificate. So it should probably fail, but it should at least give me an error message. As you can see, again, it is an empty response. So this also tells me that I cannot access the Kube API server right here, from right here, right? Okay. A lot of times what they will do is they will set up a Kube proxy. Kube proxy is when you do not want uh, to access port 6443 with the help of like bypassing certificates, right? So because whenever you're trying to access the Kube API server, you need the requirement of you require a certificate. But if you do not want to pass that every time, you can set up Kube proxy using kubectl kube proxy, and this will set up a proxy, I think, on port 8080 or port 8000. So let's try those ports as well. Using this will directly give me access to Kube API. As you can see, I got nothing. Let's try 8080. Again, nothing. So in this way, what we can try to do is we can try to brute force. Now I did not have that much patience, so I just tried to look up the write-up. But before I talk about the write-up, one thing you can try, because this is hosted on cloud, you can also try this 169.254. So using this, you can somehow, like, sometimes get access to the metadata, provided IMDS v1 is enabled. Sorry, IMDS v2 is disabled. That's a different that's a entirely different concept. But generally, if it's cloud, be it Azure or AWS, you can try to hit on this endpoint and see if you get a response back. If yes, this is probably like an EC2 instance wherein you can like get access to the access keys related to that machine, and then you can leverage those to get a foothold on the infrastructure. But again, this tells us that it's not hosted on cloud. So what is it hosted on? Let's try to brute force. I will not be brute forcing. This will make the video very, very long. So the write-up says that try on port 5000, and I'm trying on port 5000. And as you can see, it has an internal DNS, which is metadata.db. One more thing to remember here is, when it comes to Kubernetes, there is a different DNS service that's operating. So for Kubernetes, it would be name of service dot namespace dot svc dot cluster dot local. So this is an internal naming convention if you do not want to use this directly, but let's use this directly. So let's try this, and as you can see, we get two things back: 1.0 and latest. Let's try latest. Also, if you just do this, you will not get anything. You will have to use a forward slash, and as you can see, we get a lot of things. So one of them is secrets. Okay, sorry about that. Forward slash, and here we go. We have Kubernetes Goat and submit it. and as you can see we get something base64 encoded. Nice. So let's see if instead of like besides this we can also use the DNS, and this will also confirm if the DNS is working. So name is the name of the service, which is metadata DB or the pod. Namespace, we do not know the namespace that this exists in, but let's, for the sake of this, let's try our luck and say that there is a default namespace, because default is a by default namespace that's already present and always present. If this exists in a different namespace, this will not work. This will also not work if the DNS is not set up, but generally it is. As you can see, we still get this, we are not getting any empty response, so the DNS is also set up. And here we have learned about two concepts. First of all, the naming convention, like if it's 169.254.169.254 for cloud, it is the service name dot namespace dot svc dot cluster dot local for Kubernetes.